This is CBC Here and Now.
If a kid needs a home to stay, they're home. They don't have to go to Goose Bay, they don't have to go to Newfoundland, they don't have to go to Alberta. This is their home and they will remain in their community.
Innu kids in care are coming home. We bring you to Sheheji for today's big announcement. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Ariana Kellen.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes. Newfoundland's Hospitality Association is calling for a crackdown on short-term rentals. They say platforms like Airbnb are leading to an unfair playing field for hotels.
They also say that short-term rentals create a community nuisance and displace affordable housing. Here and Now's Kate McGilfrey has been following the story.
Hospitality NL has a laundry list of asks for the government. For example, they want to limit how many days of the year a host can rent for. They think people running Airbnbs should need to get safety inspections. And perhaps most importantly, they want everyone registered with the government.
Some of these recommendations that we're suggesting came from areas like Paris, France, because they will not allow an operator to go on unless they have a business number.
One of Hospitality Newfoundland's big points is how much tax money the government is losing out on. They say that in 2017, Airbnb money could have brought in $1 million in HST revenue. That was never collected.
The people that are using Airbnb, they have to pay taxes. There's a big loss to the municipalities in general on taxation, and municipalities here in Newfoundland and Labrador, they need every cent that we can get, and that's why the average person should be concerned about this.
Another one of the recommended rules is to limit Airbnb hosts to renting out rooms in their own home. That would stop people from scooping up property just for short-term rentals.
There's owners that I know that have purchased 7 and 8 homes in the downtown area with the intention of putting on Airbnb. There's cases in parts of Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia. As a result of rentals on Airbnb, neighborhoods are, I don't want to say falling apart, but neighborhoods are affected.
Brandon Copeland rents out an extra unit in his house on Airbnb. He says he thinks it's a problem to look too much at what's going wrong in other jurisdictions.
A lot of these really, in my view, are trying to address problems that don't exist in our city. They're more Vancouver and Toronto problems.
Copeland said that he's not against adding regulations, but that he does want hosts to be consulted before any go through.
This is definitely an advocacy group that sees a change and is trying to perhaps lessen the blow through a lot of levies, taxes, regulations.
Meanwhile, in Ottawa today, Airbnb submitted a budget proposal in the House of Commons. In it, they said that they want to be regulated, but asked that the federal Liberals not enforce outdated rules meant for hotels on their platform. Kate McGilvrey, CBC News, St. John's.
Police forces in this province are stepping up their presence in central Newfoundland and St. John's this weekend. That's because they're expecting outlaw motorcycle gangs to make a visit. The RCMP says the outlaw gang members have ties to organized crime and criminal activity. The groups have denied this, saying they have been unfairly targeted by police. The visit is an annual one from bikers from out of the province. The RCMP is warning the public not to engage with the gangs while they're here.
Because they are an outlaw motorcycle gang, we, in partnership with our colleagues from the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, will be monitoring all their activities. We're usually an overt presence, so we will be interacting with the members of the different biker groups as well, so they can expect to see us.
They're tracking submarines and sinking ships. I'm Peter Cowan on board HMCS Charlottetown. I'll show you what they're doing off the coast of Labrador, coming up on Here and Now.
The AC Hunter Library in the St. John's Arts and Culture Centre closed again today due to the heat. A librarian says that after 8 o'clock this morning, the heat and humidity had reached 40 inside the building. That's not safe for staff and people coming to visit the library. It's the 5th time this summer that the AC Hunter Library has had to close due to extreme heat.
An outbreak of distemper is killing dogs in Natwashish. Distemper is a viral infection that dogs and other animals can catch. It can cause diarrhea, seizures, and paralysis. Natwashish Band Council chief says he's heard about the sick dogs. He says some of them are owned while others are strays that live at the dump. A veterinarian is visiting Natwashish from St. John's next week to deal with the dogs that are ill, and the chief adds there is a program in place to remove unwanted dogs from the town.
A group of people demonstrating outside the Public Utilities Board today had a chance to put down their protest signs and step into the hearing room. This comes as NL Hydro is nearing the end of its rate application process for a 1.2% increase. And as it turns out, the people's voices have made a difference. Here and Now's Ryan Cook joins us now. So Ryan, what came out of this today?
Well, after the hearings wrapped today, we spoke with Hydro President Jim Haynes. You might remember a few weeks back, Hydro was considering an additional 6.5% rate increase. That money will be put in a fund and set aside and used later on to help ease the shock for ratepayers when Muskrat Falls comes online. But today, Haynes said they've dropped that idea.
We also heard a fair bit of apprehension about paying in advance, and that's all withdrawn. That's not on the table anymore. What we're now is just a cost recovery exercise from the point of view that we can pay our bills.
Part of the reason Haynes stated for backing down was the feedback from a panel we heard from today. They've been organizing protests against the power hikes, and they were invited to speak to the PUB today on behalf of the public.
It was good to get up and look at some of the utility representatives and the board members, look them in the eye and be able to speak the truth as we know it about what it's going to be like, what we forecast what it's going to be like to live in Newfoundland if they can continue to improve or increase power rates.
They say they want power to be restored to the PUB. Legislation in 2012 allowed the Muskrat Falls project to be sanctioned, but critics say it handcuffed the PUB and took away much of its independent oversight. The protesters are most concerned about the financial strain on the average person and the fears that rates could double by 2020. Haynes says he hears those concerns loud and clear.
To be commended on bringing real-life stories to the table, and we don't take exception to the facts that they said. There are real issues that we are concerned with, and we'll be concerned with from day one.
Haynes says that one thing is for sure: when they come into the next round of rate applications next year, they'll need to have a plan, and one that addresses the massive costs associated with first power of Muskrat Falls in 2020. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Ryan Cook.
Western Health had to deal with an incident this morning at the hospital in Corner Brook. The authority put out a news release to say that there was a threat of violence. The RNC was called, and as a result, a 41-year-old man from Corner Brook was taken into custody. He's been charged with uttering threats to cause bodily harm and to cause property damage. Well, the Liberals have opened nominations in the district of Windsor Lake. A by-election will be held after MHA and former Cabinet Minister Cathy Bennett resigned late last month. And already one person has stepped forward seeking the nomination. Paul Antle said on Twitter late this afternoon that he wants the nomination. Antle had previously ran for the Liberal leadership. The PCs already have a candidate. PC leader Ches Crosby is running.
Music legend Aretha Franklin has died. She had been in hospice care at her home in Detroit due to a long illness. Aretha Franklin was born in Memphis and raised in Detroit. With a powerful voice and a commanding stage presence, she was crowned the Queen of Soul. Her career spanned 7 decades, and her music crossed every genre from R&B to gospel to pop. Franklin won 20 Grammys, including Lifetime and Legend Awards, and she was the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Her cover of Adele's Rolling in the Deep made her the first woman to make the Billboard R&B chart 100 times. Aretha Franklin was 76.
Well, hundreds of newspapers across the U.S. ran editorials today collectively calling for President Donald Trump to end what they call his war on a free press. The president has repeatedly denounced some media organizations as an enemy of the people and said journalists cannot be trusted because of so-called fake news. But today, more than 350 newspapers and magazines fired back in a coordinated defense of freedom of the press. The New York Times wrote, quote, "Insisting truths you don't like are fake is dangerous to the lifeblood of democracy." Even newspapers in Trump strongholds joined in. The Kansas City Star compared Trump's comments on the media to former Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin's silencing of his critics. Well, the Writers Alliance announced its finalists for this year's book awards in 2 categories, for fiction and for children and young adult works. The 3 finalists in the fiction category are Bridget Canning for The Greatest Hits of Wanda Janes, Joel Thomas Hines for We'll All Be Burnt in Our Bed Some Night, and Mary Walsh for Crying for the Moon, a novel. In the children and young adult fiction category, the finalists are Lori Doody for The Puffin Problem, Sheila Lukens for Full Speed Ahead, Errol's Belle Island Adventure, Rebecca North for Elliot and the Impossible Fish. Public readings by the finalists will take place later this month, and the winners will be announced on Wednesday, September 5th at Government House in St. John's.
For the last few days, warships have been busy off the coast of Labrador. HMCS Charlottetown has sunk a boat, boarded a foreign vessel, and tracked submarines. Here and Now got exclusive access on board the ship as it sailed from St. John's to Iqaluit. Peter Cowan takes us there.
This small boat is threatening one of Canada's biggest warships. On board could be explosives. It won't stop, and the captain isn't taking any chances.
You can carry on with the firing run against a hammerhead target.
HMCS Charlottetown's huge 57mm gun swings into action. Down below in the operations room, radar is locked onto the target.
Oro Captain, take all fires threatening Charlottetown. Saws, shoot!
The rounds land just to the right, but the captain isn't upset.
The focus of a basic or an intermediate gunnery exercise isn't necessarily on a tactical employment of the weapon or practicing defense of the ship so much as proving that the systems are still continuing to work correctly and refreshing basic operator skills.
They purposely miss. This is a remote-controlled boat the Navy buys for target practice, and they wanted to give their friends behind them a turn. The Danish ship Vederen is part of this exercise, a chance for allies to work together. The small boat is aimed at them, and they get to put their skills to the test. The exercise has revealed one problem. Sometimes even the simplest things can become difficult. They can't hear the radio calls from the Vederen over the secure communications.
There's damage. There's damage? That's what I'm getting here from the little bits I did get, so I wouldn't confirm it, but...
This is one of the first exercises of this year's Operation Nanook. It's the annual chance for the Army, Navy, and Air Force to work together in the North. It was started under Prime Minister Stephen Harper, but has received less attention under the Liberal government. The captain is one of the many sailors on this ship that's been all around the world, but has never been to the Arctic. After more than a decade since it first started, he says Operation Nanook is still a very important exercise for his crew and for the Navy in general.
The North is growing. There's a lot more activity up here with respect to industry, explorers, cruise ships, and so forth than there was when we started. And that's only going to continue. And so the presence of the Navy and the presence of the department and the presence of the government needs to continue to grow in the North as well.
The exercises continue on board HMCS Charlottetown. It's the boarding party's turn to be put to the test.
So the Comrade Gorbachev, the crew size is 25. No information on their last port of call at this time. Their next port of call is going to be Pyongyang, North Korea.
The Danish ship is masquerading as a cargo ship for this exercise. The crew's job is to board the ship, check the documents, and account for all the crew. Just getting into the boat to head over isn't for the faint of heart. Some on this team are getting this experience for the very first time. The next time they do it, it could be in foreign waters with real smugglers instead of friendly Danes. On this trip to the Arctic, it isn't just a professional opportunity for the crew, it's also a personal one.
I've been all over the world actually in my short time in the Navy, but I've not yet been to the Arctic and been quite excited to come up here. Never seen an iceberg before.
Charles Harding is getting a chance to see them from a different perspective. He's testing out a new tool for the Navy. Charlottetown normally carries a helicopter, but hasn't been outfitted for the new Cyclone. So this drone is its eyes in the skies, gathering imagery to give the captain a view of one key weakness for this ship: sea ice.
Out of all the threats this ship is designed to handle, ice isn't one of them. The only option as it heads further north will be to go around it. Peter Cowan, CBC News, on board HMCS Charlottetown.
Well, for years, the Innu Nation has been calling for children in care to be kept in their own communities, and today they were heard.
This afternoon, the community of Shehiji celebrated the opening of a new group home. Here Now's Jacob Barker was there to see how that unfolded. Jacob, what does this mean for the community?
Well, it means a lot. Innu children in care has been a huge issue for the Innu. They've long aired their concerns with government for taking kids away from their communities and from their culture, and have been seeking ways to get services in the community. The facility that opened up today, it's already been up and running for about 3 weeks. We couldn't actually see the building because of provincial legislation, which prevents us from revealing its location, but we are told it meets provincial standards for a group home like this. It will house 8 kids, and there are already 3 kids living in it.
It's a very important message for the community, and to let the kids know that the ones that's in care outside the province and the ones that were living in Roddenton, like, we are working. This is the beginning of our process of bringing home our children. And for me, it means a lot today. It's a very happy day and a sort of emotional as well, because like, this is actually happening.
And as for the kids who are being cared for elsewhere, bringing them home is in the works. There is a large need for that. CBC has already reported there are a large number of Innu kids in care, 90 from Sheshatshiu alone. And the foundation is laid for 2 more emergency homes for other children in the protection care system in the community.
It's important because most of the youth that come back, they've come in a place where there's no Innu background. They've been at Regina or St. John's or Ontario, and they've been all these places where they have a Western civilization. Now, since we're back in their community, we're trying to give them back their sense of being. We're trying to give them back their culture and their language and just everything that has to do with Sheshatshiu.
Jacob, we know there is an inquiry into the treatment of Innu kids in care that was supposed to take place. Was there any word on that?
Well, we did get a chance to ask Deputy Grand Chief of the Innu Nation, Etienne Rich, about that. He says that the commissioners are in the process of being selected for that inquiry, but as of yet, there has been no date set. Reporting live for Here and Now in Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Jacob Barker.
It's a photo that shocked people around the country. A Newfoundland woman shown tied to a chair and gagged in her workplace in Scotland.
Deanne Fitzpatrick lost her case of workplace bullying and harassment yesterday. Next, we talked to her to get her reaction and see what's next. Welcome back to Here and Now. A Bell Island woman who says she faced a decade of workplace harassment in Scotland has lost her case. Tonight, she says she's disappointed but not surprised. This photo went viral. It shows Deanne Fitzpatrick bound and gagged in her main Scotland office. This week, a workplace tribunal dismissed her claims of harassment. A judge deemed the photo and years' worth of other alleged incidents not admissible. I reached Deanne Fitzpatrick this afternoon at her home in Thurso, Scotland. I want to touch on the timelines for a bit, because you say you experienced a decade of harassment from your colleagues, but much of that wasn't admissible in your case, and it really came down to cards that you had received at home. Can you explain that?
Yes. How it works here in employment tribunal, it goes from the date of the last incident, which gives you 3 months, whereas the incidents that we were reporting dated back a decade, which left us with the last thing that happened, which was receiving of the cards here at my home. My home is my haven. This is where I should feel safe. And those cards, there were things in those cards that clearly indicated that it was somebody from my work. And basically what they were doing was letting me know, it doesn't matter if you're not at work. If you're at home sick, we know you're sick, you know, we can still get to you. And that was their way of doing it.
Since this has come to a head over the last couple of years, what has your life been like?
It's my life. I never had a life. Over the last 10 years, you know, I was employed to be a fishery officer, and then eventually I succeeded in becoming a senior fishery officer. But my entire career has been about defending myself, standing up to inappropriate behavior, trying to secure the fact that they can't move me, attending disciplinaries one after the other. I ended up in the employment tribunal, and it's certainly not where I wanted to be. But my life over 10 years has been a nightmare, especially the last 2 years, because, you know, everything's come to a head. But I do know that other people within Marine Scotland and other parts of the Scottish government have now spoken out. And there are people within Marine Scotland, Scotland Compliance, who has contacted me, and they're afraid to speak out because they're afraid of repercussions, because they've seen what's been done to me. And when you're being bullied, harassed, victimized, racism, misogyny involved, you know, that there's no place in the workplace for that. There's no place at all.
Given this latest ruling, what is your employment status now? Are you still with Marine Scotland?
I'm still with Marine Scotland Compliance. They tell me I'm not suspended. I'm not allowed to go back to work. I believe they call it special leave. I'm waiting to find out, you know, do they believe me back to my work, or what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm hoping, I'm praying that something positive is going to come out of this, because, as I said, it's not since I joined Marine Scotland Compliance in Scrabster. Through different people we've spoken to, we've discovered that it's been there a lot longer than that. But I challenged it. I stood up to it. And I can tell you, I've certainly paid a dear price.
What message do you think your story has sent to other women, or other employees for that matter, facing these similar situations?
First, I'd like to say to them, I understand how you feel, because the entire situation put me in a very dark place. It's like this big black hole you were going down, and there was just no getting back out of it. Things went very badly to the point it affected my health, to the point where I thought, you know what, I can't do this anymore. 10 years of fighting, trying to be accepted as a human being to do my job. And I contemplated doing suicide through Dignitas. And what I want to say to people that's being bullied in that, one of the things I know that I done, I couldn't put my head up. I couldn't face the world. I was beaten so low that when I walked, I literally walked with my head down. I felt ashamed. You know, I felt, well, maybe it was my fault, or maybe I brought it on to myself. But I didn't deserve to be violated the way I was, especially as that picture that went viral. I hate that picture. But only hating that picture, it doesn't describe how I felt when it was done to me.
Deanne, what's next for you?
I need to see this through. I need to see this to the end. I want to see change. I want to see good change. I want to be able to get my job back for the simple fact that's my career. That's my professional career. That's something I've worked very hard on. I don't want to walk away to be known as this person, you know, oh, she's a lawyer, she's this, she's that, because that's not who I am. I want to make sure that people know me for me. And I want my job back as a senior fishery officer. I deserve to have my job back because I'm proud of who I am. It's taken me a while to get to where I am today, but with all the support around the world, especially a lot of people in Newfoundland and from the island, I come from Bell Island, you know, a lot of people's been contacting me, supporting me, sharing their stories, and it's really encouraged me to keep going and make me realize never be ashamed of what happened to me because it wasn't my fault.
Well, good luck, Deanne, and make sure you keep us updated with anything that happens in this case. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
A group of nearly 20 St. John's-based triathletes are heading to Denmark for the Copenhagen Ironman this weekend. See how they've been training.
Another update is brought to you by Take Charge Business Efficiency Program. Over 570 businesses have saved energy and taken charge of their bottom line. Find out how you can too.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Carolyn, that lightning and thunderstorm last night, did it wake you up?
It definitely woke me up. Not just the thunder and lightning, but the sound of all of the rain falling last night. It was quite something. And the dogs did not like it either.
I know.
Right?
So sad. Not a lot of sleep here last night.
No, and there was a lot of lightning. Just have a look at this slow motion video that Mandy Morgan recorded in St. John's last night. This was near the Avalon Mall. Wow.
Purple sky.
It does look purple. Yeah.
It was loud, and it almost shook the house. It was that loud, and the rain was incredibly heavy too, and there was a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot, yeah. And actually, I wanted to start with some rainfall totals to show you from last night. This is from Rodney Barney at Environment Canada in the Gander Weather Office. He tweeted this out today. So St. John's West saw 28 millimeters of rain during that thunder and lightning storm last night. The downtown saw about 25 millimeters. Mount Pearl 21 and St. John's Airport 20 millimeters. So it was a significant amount of rain in a very short amount of time. So the big story that we're looking at now weather-wise is this cold front that's moving through. These are the highs for today. You can see on the island some nice warm temperatures earlier today, 25 in St. John's, 21 in Gander. But just look at this. Look how quickly things changed. These are the temperatures right now. So Gander is now at 11 degrees. So this afternoon, temperatures really took a dive. And this cold front, this cold air mass is heading towards St. John's right now. So we're going to see a dip in temperatures overnight tonight as well. So we do have some showers on the go over the Avalon Peninsula and parts of the south and west coast overnight tonight. Yeah, it'll be passing through some pretty heavy showers. We're looking at a chance of some thunder showers as well. Labrador looking largely clear with some cloud cover moving in overnight on Friday, or overnight tonight rather, sorry. And so this is what we're looking at for St. John's. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain this evening. Could get up to 20 millimeters in the heaviest showers. And temperature overnight lows looking really cool, 13 degrees in St. John's, and it's not going to get much warmer than that as we move through the day tomorrow. 2 to 4 millimeters of rain for the Marystown area, but could see up to 10 millimeters of rain and that chance of thunder showers. And look at this, a risk of frost for southeastern Labrador overnight tonight. So some overnight lows there looking really, really cool. So this is the picture tomorrow morning in the St. John's area. Could wake up to a few showers, a little bit of drizzle, and 14 as to start the day, and that's pretty much where the temperature is going to stay throughout the day tomorrow. Cloud cover on the Burin Peninsula. Central Newfoundland could see some early morning showers as well, and then a mix of sun and cloud for the west, north, and for Labrador. Northern Newfoundland up in St. Anthony area starting the day at 9 degrees. Woo! Quite the difference in temperature. So these are the showers that you could see Friday morning, clearing off, and then Friday throughout the day, looking at largely a cloudy day on the island and some precipitation for parts of Labrador tomorrow. Not a whole lot, some scattered showers throughout the day. So for the St. John's area, yes, 14 degrees as the high for tomorrow. Chance of some showers along the southern part of the Avalon. As we move into central areas, a little bit warmer, 17 degrees as the high for Gander, and mostly a cloudy day coming for the west coast, Corner Brook area, looking at 18 as the high, so not a bad day coming as we head into the weekend there. Mary's Harbour looking at 18 degrees tomorrow as the high as well, and quite a nice day shaping up for Happy Valley Goose Bay, 22 degrees. So coming up a little bit later, I'll get into your weekend forecast. Ariana?
Thanks, Carolyn. Well, when you think of lovebirds, puffins might not be what you imagine, but for two women from Virginia visiting Newfoundland, the seabirds played a key role in their wedding proposal. Amanda Fallon and Ginny Kinsey first became aware of Newfoundland after seeing the documentary Puffin Patrol, which features the efforts to catch and release lost puffins in Witless Bay. Amanda decided there was no better time to pop the question, but in order to keep her plan under wraps, she had to find a photographer who was willing to go undercover.
Ever since I was a kid, I loved puffins. So Amanda took me to the film festival, and then like immediately it became a bucket list thing.
So it was definitely, you know, a joint effort in terms of me going on the boat, but Ginny had seen my name come up in Amanda's phone, so I was nervous. She had Googled me, so I showed up in a hat from Bagel Cafe and sunglasses trying to, you know, assimilate with everybody.
The plan was to go out on the boat and have Ginny release a puffin, and then after she did so, to have our wonderful photographer take photos and to propose. And the weather was perfect, the birds cooperated, and everything went swimmingly.
That's awesome. And as you can tell, Ginny did say yes.
Well, about a dozen Newfoundlanders are in Denmark this week getting ready for the Copenhagen Ironman. The popular triathlon race series pushes athletes to test their endurance while getting to enjoy the scenery of Europe. Here Now's Jeremy Eaton caught up with two of the racers at an open water swim on Long Pond.
It's not everyone's ideal European vacation.
The distances are 3,800 meter swim, a 180 kilometer bike, and then a full marathon at the end.
Dean Hammond and Steph Nevin are two locals preparing to push their bodies through the 226 kilometers of racing.
There's a group of us been at it since around the middle of November, and anywhere from 8 to 16 hours a week, depending on rest weeks or peak weeks, stuff like that.
Before work, sometimes during work, lunch breaks, after work. Sometimes we'll be going until probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night and going straight to bed afterwards.
Nevin picked up the sport about 3 years ago, had to teach herself how to swim first. Recently, she won the female race in the St. John's Triathlon, but this will be her first Ironman triathlon.
You know, I think like anyone, you start with a 5K running race and you feel great when you finish it, and the sense of accomplishment is unreal, and you just keep wanting to do more and more, and this is kind of one of the top races you can do in terms of distance.
In 2015, Hammond took on the Ironman Challenge in Quebec. He hopes to improve on his time of 14 hours and 20 minutes.
I think it's just seeing what your body can do. Like, you always hear people say they can't do this or they can't do this, and I think it's more of a want to do something than you can't do something. So if you want to try it, I think anybody can do this for sure.
With a number of people from here heading to Denmark, the racers will have a built-in cheering section.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. The last time we went, we had about 14 or 15, and everybody gets together the day after the race, and it's just a good sense of like community. Like Newfoundland goes to Copenhagen.
It's huge having the support on the course. So the race itself is full of laps, so we'll see each other passing by in opposite directions here and there, and it just gives you a big boost in the middle of the race.
With the hard work already done, the makeshift triathlon team from Newfoundland is already on the ground in Copenhagen. The race starts just after 2:30 in the morning, St. John's time, on Sunday. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, St. John's.
And remember, you can watch Here and Now anytime, anywhere. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. You can also catch past episodes on demand. Just go to YouTube and subscribe to CBC NL.
they've been at Regina or St. John's or Ontario. We're trying to give them back their culture and their language and just everything that has to do with Sheshashu.
We are working. This is the beginning of our process of bringing home our children.
It was a big announcement for Shehajit today, the opening of a new group home for children. Innu and other Indigenous children from this province are overrepresented in the foster care system. Many are placed hundreds of kilometers away from their homes and their culture. The Shehajit Innu First Nation is working to keep children in the community, and today it announced a new Innu-led group home for Innu children and youth. Chief Eugene Hart is live from Happy Valley Goose Bay tonight to tell us more. Chief Hart, welcome to Here and Now.
Hi, thank you.
Explain to us, what does this group home mean for your community?
This group home means a lot. It's like a historic day for Sheshatshiya First Nations itself. We'll be seeing kids flowing home from that's living outside the province and bringing them back to our community where they belong.
From their communities, as you just said, and placed kilometers away. What kind of impact does that have on the children?
Well, the impact that it has on the children that I can see as a former vice principal at a school is there's a lot of lost in everything. Like, they're totally lost. Their identity, they lost their language, their culture, their traditional values. So they got to come back to the community, and we got to teach them all over again what they have missed in their lives.
How many children?
That's the important part about bringing them back.
How many children are outside the community right now? Sorry?
Outside the community, I would say roughly about 50.
Okay. And describe this new home for us. How many children can stay there?
Well, the home that's being utilized now, and it's going to hold 8 children from 10 to 18, and it's in hold eight kids in the home, and it's we're utilized with the province of facility level 4 home.
I understand the home is
so
named.
We're no different than anybody.
Go ahead.
The name of the person is Susheshaban Nuna, means Joseph Nuna Sr. That's the name that leaders picked there years ago, named the group home after him.
And why is that?
The reason being was back in the day when he was I guess very active in his community, and when he's a big family, and if any family would need a home or a child, they would go there, and his doors was always open.
Chief Hart, while I have you here, the provincial government has promised an inquiry into Innu children in care. There were provincial and federal politicians in your community today. How is that relationship?
It's good. I see positive outcomes on it, and the last time I went to Philpott in Ottawa, it's very good. It sounds very positive.
Well, thank you for your time, Chief Hart.
Thank you.
That
A state of emergency in effect across British Columbia tonight as nearly 600 wildfires burn. Welcome back to Here and Now, and it's weather time.
We're in Thursday, so now we're thinking weekend time. Weekend time. What's it looking like?
Not half bad, actually. We do have a few showers coming through for the island on the weekend, and some temperatures that are a little bit cooler than what we've been used to, but
because it's been hot.
It's been hot. Yeah, so we do have a bit of a cooling happening. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Some fairly heavy showers for the Avalon. Seem to be easing a little bit there as that system starts to track off offshore there. So yeah, overnight tonight we are looking at some showers for the Avalon Peninsula and for parts of Central. About 5 to 10 millimeters of rain for the Avalon. Could see up to 20 millimeters of rain in heavier showers. And then on Friday, we're looking at a mainly cloudy day. Chance of some morning showers for the east and for parts of the south coast, and some showers as well later in the day for western Labrador. So this is the picture for tomorrow. Like I said, some early morning showers possible for St. John's. Then we're looking at a mainly cloudy day with 14 as the high. Warmer as you head towards Central, 17 degrees with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day tomorrow, and a mix of sun and cloud for the west coast, and 18 degrees there, 16 in St. Anthony. Labrador looking nicer, and Happy Valley Goose Bay 22 degrees as the high for tomorrow. Some cloud cover for Nain and 18, but overall looking like a fairly nice day for Labrador tomorrow. So Friday evening into Saturday, you can see some cloud cover there for the central and east portions of the island, and we do have a few showers moving through for the west on Saturday. So there's a chance of some late day showers for the western portion of the island on Saturday, as well as for central, but some temperatures not looking too bad for the east. 19 degrees as the high with a mix of sun and cloud, and clear skies for Labrador, and temperatures between 16 and 19 degrees on Saturday, so not half bad there. Now Saturday night, we have some heavier showers moving through, going to hit the east there on Saturday night and on Sunday. So it's going to be a bit showery for the Avalon on Sunday afternoon. Temperature staying fairly cool there, or dipping back down, I should say, to 14 degrees on the Avalon Peninsula on Sunday afternoon. So if you're going to go out, Saturday is probably your best bet if you're in the east. And Sunday is looking great for Central and for the west, with temperatures around the 20-degree mark, and looking fantastic for Labrador. So great weekend coming for Labrador for sure. Now for the east, we have those showers on Sunday continuing on Monday, and then we have a bit of clearing on Tuesday, expected 22 degrees. So temperatures are starting to move back up a bit. Does not mean summer is over. We could still have some warm temperatures to come still for Central. Some nice weather coming for Monday, and a chance of showers on Tuesday. And you can see those temperatures back up in the mid-20s or so. A nice stretch of weather for western Newfoundland with a mix of sun and cloud, and temperatures in the low to mid-20s there. And for eastern Labrador, Monday looking at a few showers, but temperatures staying quite warm as well in the mid-20s, and a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday. And western Labrador looking at a bit more shower action into Monday and Tuesday, and temperatures around the 20-degree mark. So that's your forecast. Ariana, back to you.
To British Columbia now, where a state of emergency remains in effect across the entire province as nearly 600 wildfires continue to burn. About 3,000 people are under evacuation orders, and many more being told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. This is the fourth worst fire season on record. The firefighters from Australia, New Zealand, and Mexico have been brought in to provide support. The Canadian military is helping too. Meanwhile, the smoke from all those fires has prompted officials to issue air quality alerts, warning those with compromised health to stay inside. And humans are not the only ones in need of assistance due to the wildfires. Evacuations in northern and central BC have now spread to animal shelters. That means SPCA facilities in Lower Mainland have extra animals and are looking for homes to adopt them. Rafferty Baker has more.
Sweet Pea and Hopper are two lovely kittens, a male and a female, about 3 months old.
SPCA shelters in the Lower Mainland have some new animals. 52 of them, like Sweet Pea and Hopper, who have been shipped from shelters in Williams Lake and Quesnel. The BC SPCA facilities weren't under evacuation order, but with fires in the area, they did not want to take the risk.
We were worried that the highways would be an issue to navigate with our transfer truck. So at that point we made the call to move everybody down and get them to safety before we even had to worry about it.
Here in Vancouver, there are a couple dogs, Tika and Buttons, and several cats. There are even kittens, which are well, they're kittens. The shelter is looking for people to adopt them to make space for their regular intake. But you'll have to hurry, they seem to be going fast. Kathy Buckham learned about the new animals escaping BC's interior on the SPCA's website. And today she's here with a plan to adopt a kitten named Bethany from Quesnel.
It's more urgent that they find homes, and there's lots of people looking in the Lower Mainland. It's really hard to find, there's not as high a stock in the Lower Mainland of kittens and cats, and so this is perfect.
You can find the evacuees at SPCA shelters across the Lower Mainland, and if things don't cool off in the province's interior, there could soon be more on the way.
We're watching all of the wildfires. I mean, anything could pop up at any time, so we are ready and we have a team in place.
Rafferty Baker, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, still in BC, RCMP there have cleared an anti-pipeline protest camp. The site in North Burnaby was known as Camp Cloud. Officers moved in just after dawn. 11 people were removed, including 5 who were arrested and later released. The raid comes after the city of Burnaby was granted an injunction last week ordering the protesters out. Demonstrators had occupied the site since November in opposition to the planned expansion of the Trans Mountain pipeline. City crews are now clearing the camp of vehicles and makeshift structures.
Engineering experts now say hundreds more bridges in Italy could be at risk of collapse. They say the span that failed in Genoa on Tuesday was just one of 10,000 bridges in the country that are more than 40 years old and carrying far more traffic than they were built for. At least 38 people were killed, and rescue workers are still looking for between 10 and 20 others still missing. Meanwhile, residents of 11 evacuated apartment buildings beneath the bridge were allowed to collect some belongings today. It's unlikely they'll ever be allowed to move back into those homes.
This beautiful viewer photo of the day. This is a sunrise.
This is a tough one.
It is.
Not a lot of markers.
Nope. Looks like that bird on the rock there is enjoying the sunrise for sure. Lovely colors. I'll let you know where in the province this photo was taken after the break. Welcome back to Here and Now. And before we get to our viewer photo, we have one more video from last night's lightning storm in St. John's to show you. Just have a look at this.
Oh, wow. This slow motion video was taken by Thomas Jordan. Wow.
Wow.
And he says that he even caught the power outage that happened at 3 a.m.
Oh, it's interesting to hear it, too. It looks kind of like the Southside Hills there.
And the lightning, when in the slow-mo, it looks like tentacles kind of sticking out.
I can't, it's like an alien ship should be coming out of
And with the slow motion sound, too. It sounds eerie. That's a great video. Thank you so much for sending that in. Yeah, very Halloween-y.
Yeah. All right, this is much nicer. Our viewer photo of the day. This was taken, Little Bay Islands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Never would have guessed, though.
Morning glory at Little Bay Islands, Michael Parsons wrote. Thank you so much for sending that beautiful shot in. And if anyone else has photos you'd like to send in to us, please do. Email it to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Yeah, and any more lightning videos, we'll take those too.
Yeah, some really cool shots there. So, yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow.
That's it for us. Have a great night.